Liquitex Flow. Here we go. Liquitex Flow Additive. What the heck is it? Why do people use it? It's basically water plus, okay? And that's funny if you've ever seen, what's it called? Planet of the Apes. Okay, let's talk about flow. So it is basically, instead of adding water to the paint, you add this to the paint. This you mix. Right here, there's a little recipe on it. 1 part flow aid to 20 parts water, binder free, okay? So it doesn't have binder in it. I asked ChatGPT to help me explain what flow aid does because I'm not a scientist. So Liquitex Flow Aid improves paint flow and coverage without breaking down the acrylic binder like water can. It reduces surface tension, keeps colors vibrant, and allows smooth, even application, making it better for thinning paint without weakening its structure. Okay, so it's basically like paint thinner. It's paint thinner basically, but so if you're like me and you add a lot of water to your acrylic, it ends up. Let me just mess with it. It ends up drying like really cloudy. So if I take this paint and I put it here and I just add water to it, like this is just me adding water. If I keep doing this, this is gonna dry really cloudy and yeah. And not a lot of people like that cloudiness. I kind of do, so I'm not too worried about it. But the cool thing about flow is that it acts just like paint thinner without making it all cloudy. So this is flow mixed with water. I put it in here so I can just add it to the canvas if I want, or sometimes I'll just add it right to my paint, or I'll put it in the lid just to thin my paint. So it's water plus, it's basically paint thinner for acrylic. So if my paint is going on, see, Nova Color just goes on smooth. But if you were using a paint that doesn't go on smooth, let's say you were getting a really hard edge, gosh, it just goes on so good. But if I add a little flow to it, it just goes on that much smoother. You notice it does lighten it up a little bit. But so does water, okay? So, already we learned that Flow Aid does not add binder, but it thins the paint better than water because water kind of breaks it down and makes it all cloudy. Another cool thing about Flow is that you can do kind of weird stuff with it. So let's just put a bunch of flow here. I want to show you what it can do. Here is me grabbing quinacridone violet. Okay, this is like leaning downwards. It's okay. Anyway, you see what it's doing? You see how I just like, it's just kind of like spreading the paint through it? Okay, water doesn't do that like that. It is so cool. You want to make real thin, runny paint? Try mixing it with flow. If you use a lot of water like me, sometimes so much that the weird things happen, try flow. You'll like it. It's fun. Basically, I recommend doing a whole painting with it. And let's just move this out of the way. Where can I put it? Okay. I recommend doing a whole painting with it instead of water. So instead of grabbing water, I'm going to use flow. And I'm kind of weird with it. My paint, again, this is Nova Color, so I'm just going to put flow right into the lid of my Nova Color just to make it a little looser. Again, it's like paint thinner, but it's not weird and toxic like house paint thinner. Okay, let's use it. It basically makes the paint really smooth. If I want to do long strokes, I'm going to grab a filbert and I'm going to make sure my paint has a little flow in it. And this is going to hold a lot of color. A filbert can hold so much paint. It's baffling. You'll be like, bro, have you seen this? No, but a lot of people, I think, are grabbing tube paint and they're opening it up and they're putting it on a surface and they're grabbing a brush and they're going, gosh, this stuff doesn't do anything I want it to. Well, yeah, of course it doesn't, because tube paint is evil. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people have to use tube paint. That's all you got. Maybe you don't know better. Maybe you're like me and you used tube paint for 20 years because you didn't realize like liquid paint is more your jam. So it's another nod to getting out there and trying stuff. But let's just say all you have is tube paint. Oh no. I want to do this flower yellow, but all I have is this tube paint. I'm going to put it right on the canvas. So bold. So daring. Here we go. I put a little flow there. And if I mix this just slightly, then I can get this tube paint to act almost just like liquid paint. So there's two hacks you got there, right there. First one is do an entire painting using your acrylic, whatever you have, and flow is the only way that you wet the paint. And then the other one is take a paint that you normally don't like because it's too weird or too chunky or too thick and add a tiny bit of flow to it and mix it around real good, because you can basically turn it into fluid paint, liquid paint. And yeah, it makes your paint go further. There's a lot of cool things it does. If you're like me and you like to do drips, like dripping, let's do a drip just for fun. So I'm just gonna make a little pile of my flow right here. You can't see it, it's clear. Let's put some of this quinacridone violet here. I'm just trying to make it thin as water, and it is. So now if I wanted to do a drip, I could very easily, come on. Remember when I was like, very easily? I could always grab the right brush too. Round brushes are always best when you're trying to do a drip. Holds a lot of water. Oop, no water, just flow, just flow. They hold a lot of liquid. So you want to do some drips, but every time you do it with water, it's all cloudy and weird. Use flow instead of water. Replace your water with flow. Did I say it enough times? Replace all your water with flow, except when you're dipping your brush. It's paint thinner, but it's awesome because it doesn't make your paint cloudy. It just makes it smoother. The more you add, the more closer to water it'll be. And you can do very watercolor-esque painting with it when it's in this watercolor state. Okay, so I'm trying to give you all the ideas I can here of what this cool flow is capable of. You know, they say not to use it this strength, but I never listened to anyone's suggestions fully. I mean, I gotta explore and learn on my own. So I gave you at least 3 different ways that you can use this Liquitex Flow instead of water It extends the paint. It makes it smoother. So much more fun to paint with when it's smoother and you don't have to drag it across the canvas. It dries as fast as acrylic, which is very misleading. So you look at it and you think, oh, I just did that blue little stripe. I'm going to be able to smooth that out. Guess what? I mean, I can grab a little bit of it because I'm extremely aggressive. But you see how it's still there? Alright, well, I hope you learned a couple of things about why you would want to use Liquitex Flow. And if you're really worried about your acrylic losing its binder, because a lot of art teachers will tell you it's something to be feared, you can get airbrush medium, which thins acrylic color mediums to a water-like state with binding properties. So if you want a binder, use airbrush medium. To me, unfortunately, this dries really glossy, which I don't like. But maybe you will like that. Okay, so this is my review of Liquitex Flow Aid. I call it Water Plus. I use it every single time I paint. I bring it every single place I go when I'm paint and when I'm speed painting and I need to paint go across the whole canvas in one big stroke. I add float to the paint a little bit just to make it wet enough to keep going and it won't drag on the canvas, okay? It's even cheap ones from the dollar store. So now you know. It's the flow. Please subscribe. Ask me questions in the comments. Say hi. Thank you.